Hi, Andy here. In this series of videos I'm building a cedar strip canoe, and in this episode I'm going to build the mould onto the strongback. The mould consists of a large number of plywood stations which are cut to the exact shape of the inside of the canoe's hull and then fastened like leaves coming off the strongback along the length of it, and the canoe is then built onto the sides of these all the way around. Now I'm going to talk you through the process of drawing out one of these mould stations onto the plywood. So the first step is to try and work out where you're going to draw it. I'm trying to tessellate these as close as possible. So I've got stations 0, 1, 2 and I need to do station 3. So I think my best bet is to, I don't know if you can see the edge of this previous one here, is to fit it into this area as much as I can. So I line up the piece of paper, the template. I want to leave about 1 centimetre between this and the previous one where possible. Okay, that's good. So then I mark roughly where the centre line is. And then I'll put a cross there to match up with that window for the vertical location. And then using a set square and a straight edge, draw that centre line into the boards. Now line up the centre line again with the small cross that I made underneath this small window. And line up the centre line at the top as well, where there's another small window cut in the paper, just here. Once these are both perfectly lined up, then I use masking tape to hold it in place. Now at this stage I use 2 sheets of carbon paper, one facing up, one facing down. And that allows the line to be transferred onto the plywood but also onto the back of this plan, so that I can do the reverse in symmetry, in mirror image, to get the other side. Use my straight edge to join up the marks I've made for the straight lines. The second half is a little bit simpler because you don't need to trace it onto the back of the template. So I now have this line drawn, which is mould station 3. Again, I line it up. I have to line up the base line and the centre line with the windows, and then tape it down again. I've got the stem mould and mould stations 0, 1, 2, 3 and 5 out of this sheet of plywood. That leaves obviously mould stations 4 and the final one, which is 6, which is quite small. All of them except for mould station 0, which is the exact centre of the boat, are duplicated. And so I have room on a second sheet of ply which will be underneath this one. Where mould station 0 is on this sheet, I'll be able to get one mould station 4, which leaves one big station 4 and 2 very, very small ones, which is station 6. And I have another third of a sheet of ply or so spare from a previous project I had. So if I packed these more tightly, I might just have squeezed this out of 2 sheets. But I'm going to use a bit more than 2 sheets because, well, doing jigsaw puzzles isn't my strong point. So the next plan now is to cut out very, very roughly with a jigsaw, cut out mould station 0 to have that piece separate, and then join 2 sheets of plywood together firmly with screws in scrap areas, and then rough cut each one with a jigsaw, and then finally cut the exact shape with a bandsaw with a new blade on it. I've stretched a piece of string along the strong back. I'm going to draw a line exactly underneath it, and that makes sure that line is dead straight. The next process is to put the mould stations up on the strongback. I start with the two end mould stations, station 6, and I put the stem mould against station 6 at each end, this way. Once they're mounted, I put a bit of string from the top of one to the other end, and then each mould station between them has a line down it, and I line up the bottom with the line in the strongback, and the top with a piece of string to make sure they're all vertical. That's the mould complete, and hopefully in the next video I can actually start building a canoe. In the meantime, if you've enjoyed this video, please do consider subscribing and click on the like button and leave any comments you have below. Bye for now, and I'll see you soon.